Hi, my name is Trenton Waybright, and this is my marketing plan analysis, and this presentation will be on the company Nike. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Just a forewarning, this was originally made on my computer and is now being on my iPad. Because I cannot use Loom, there may be some formatting errors, and I ask that you guys will not judge me on those. If that is at all possible, but I hope you enjoy. And once again, this is my marketing plan analysis for the company Nike. I hope you guys enjoy. So Nike, this is their mission and vision statement. Their vision statement is if you have a body, you are an athlete. And their mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you put these together, you can see that Nike is trying to market to all athletes, and all athletes are people who have a body. And this puts Nike in an interesting spot because they're trying to market to any person that has a body, because they're all athletic and they're all athletes. Their marketing objectives, they're trying to create a good relationship with the consumer while also promoting the brand and making a profit. Nike is a business and is trying to make a profit on that. Their customer segments, because Nike is trying to market to all people with a body and all athletes, they're trying to market to everyone. However, this does not mean Nike does not use market segmenting. They just are going to segment towards different target markets. The target markets are usually between the age of 15 and 40. This is seen because people who are between this age range are generally the most desiring of athletics, and are therefore the people who are going to be using Nike products. Nike is going to be target marketing both men and women. As I'll reference later, there's a commercial called Dream Crazier, and it's from the perspective of women, and yeah, it's really good. I'll talk about it later. And then the target markets vary by region and sport. This is really important because Nike is applicable across the nation and internationally, and across the nations, each region has different sports that they like to play. This applies into the target market and shows how the things are related. It can be seen for specific sports. So, for instance, Texas is known for being very football popular. So Nike will target Texas with football. And that can be seen across the nation. For instance, I play lacrosse. So on the East Coast, it's very famous to play lacrosse. Differentiation of product and positions. So something that's really cool about Nike is the only brand that's allowed to do official merchandise for the NFL, which is considered the biggest sport in the United States. So that's really cool, and that's how it's different from other products. Another differentiation is the Just Do It and the Nike Swoosh, which are different promotional aspects of Nike. Another super cool differentiation is the high quality and above average cost. Nike believes in selling good products and a cost that's effective with it. This comes from Mark Parker, who's the CEO of Nike, and he says everything we do starts with the consumer. And this ties into the marketing concept of trying to make a product that the consumer is going to want, rather than making a product and then forcing the consumer to want it. So the example that he gives is the consumer didn't say, I want a waffle shoe. They said, I want durability, and the waffle shoe came from that, because that is what the consumer was wanting, and that's what the product was. So that's the buying behavior model. That's what the brand is trying to do. To expand upon this, Nike is built on engagement. So what I put here is there's an example in one of the commercials about a treadmill where Nike employees are trying to sell the specific product to the specific consumer. Nike sells shoes, apparel, equipment, and accessories. Nike started as a shoe company, and that's why the waffle shoe was a pretty big example. But they sell everything and anything that an athlete would want or need. But those are the three basic necessities in Nike. The product lines, Nike isn't just Nike. Nike owns several other brand names like Jordan, Hurley, and Converse, but those products are still Nike. So if you see a shoe with just the swoosh, yes, that is Nike. If you see an Air Jordan shoe, that is still Nike. Nike's a massive company, and they sell apparel, accessories, and equipment. Again, I'm a lacrosse player, so I know that Nike's starting to dive into the lacrosse market and starting to increase their goods and their products in that market. One of the best services that Nike has is its customizable section. This is on Nike.com, and it allows the user to make their own shoe and design it the way that they want to. And this is really innovative because it allows the consumer to make a product and to have Nike produce the product. It doesn't rely on the people at Nike, which is really big. And that's one of the services, and the services are evident because of the information, the features, and specifically the staff interaction, which will be talked about more in the personal selling aspect. But that's really big in the service of Nike, and again, that's seen in staff interaction, which is really big in service. Most service related to Nike comes in finding the right merchandise. So this can be seen when going into, let's say, a Dick's Sporting Goods looking for Nike shoes. The Dick's Sporting Goods employee is trained in what Nike's mission is, and in Nike apparel and clothing. So they are going to try to find the right product for the right consumer, and they're going to provide a service of allowing the person to find the correct product and what they're looking for. It also applies to stores like Champs and different businesses inside of it. Nike is profit-oriented. This can be seen in their pricing. I talked about it earlier, how Nike has high quality and above average cost. If they were sales-oriented, Nike would reduce the cost to increase sales. But because they're profit-oriented, they know people will pay the cost to get the right product, which is profit-oriented. This can be seen in the average cost of shoes, which is $75, and the average pair of Nike shoes is $115. If Nike was sales-oriented, the price would be closer to the average cost, but because they are profit-oriented, the price is above cost because the quality is above cost. Pricing tactics. Nike is massive, so they have products coming out in their product line very quickly. And when a new product is coming out, they will reduce the price of the current product to increase sales on it, and then ship in the new product and bring that into full force. So that's one of the things that drives the short term is in the product life cycle. When a new product is coming out, it starts to get into the mature phase, and when the product is mature, they will decrease the price to increase sales, which drives short-term demand. And because, again, Nike is coming out with a lot of products, they're going to do this to increase demand on each product. Distribution channels. Nike primarily sells to wholesalers and retailers, and that's close to 80% of the sales. And this can be seen in stores like Dick's Sporting Goods or Champs, where they are not directly affiliated with Nike, but Nike is still selling them products. And then there's also the direct-to-consumer, which is where Nike sells hands-on, one-on-one to the consumer from them, and it's not relying on intermediaries. So that's why it's direct. This can be seen in the Nike store or Nike.com or Nike Plus, different applications where Nike's selling directly. The third point is sales to global, which isn't really that big of a focus, so I'm going to kind of skip over that. Channel conflict. Because Nike relies mostly on intermediaries, they're going to be focused heavily on the vertical channel conflict, which is where different policies are in place for different stores. For instance, Foot Locker or Copeland are two of the only wholesalers and retailers that are allowed to sell Nike products online. And other businesses see this as a channel conflict because they have different policies enacted. Forms of advertisement and promotion. Nike primarily uses commercials and sponsorships, which are the two big ones. that Nike will use in terms of advertisement. They are notorious for having professional athletes under the Nike tag, and they will be used in commercials. I use Serena Williams and the woman in Dream Crazier, where she narrates the story and helps sell that, and that's through professional sports and athletes. I also talked about how Nike is the official brand of the NFL, and that's another way that they use sponsorships in professional sports and athletes. Personal selling is really important to Nike, especially in business to consumer or in direct, where as a wholesaler is personal selling to the consumer. Nike is really big right now into social media, and they're growing in this aspect because social media is the platform that is going to take over the current sales force, in my opinion. And I think it's really important that Nike is increasing their media. I'm going to focus on Dream Crazier. I already talked about it, but it's a very recent commercial, and it's narrated by Serena Williams, and how women are completely capable and can do extraordinary things and should not be discounted. Another really cool one that I found was Winner Stays On, which was a really interesting commercial, where these guys are playing soccer, and then halfway through soccer, they're like, hey, I'm Neymar. I'm going to use my strategies, and I'm becoming Neymar. And it's a really extravagant commercial, and I thought it was interesting. My strategy is to increase online sales, because I think that's the sales force that's going to be very impactful in the future. And I think Nike should focus on aesthetics and convenience rather than comfort, because the current generation would rather buy products that are convenient rather than comfortable. I think if they can focus on social media, it'll be able to increase profit, which is really good. Here's my resources. They're all wonky because of the formatting, and I'd like to thank you for watching my presentation. If you have any questions, you could ask me in person, but thank you so much for being able to watch this, and I hope you enjoy. Anyways, this is my marketing plan analysis for the company Nike. Thank you. Have an amazing day. God bless.